guys, welcome. Thank you for watching my previous video. Hope you liked the session with the IAS Society that I conducted for UTD. And for this video, we'll be conducting the resume reviewing sessions. I have a couple of resumes sent over by the IAS Society, and I'll be reviewing it. And for the next videos, I have the details on the next slide, so you all guys can send the resumes onto the email ID, and I can take up some resumes in one video, and we can critique that. Let's move on to the resume reviewing session. So for the first resume, we can start with, so we can see the blank spaces here. So if you can avoid this blank spaces, and if you can try to add on your details in one line, like your name and then your email ID and then LinkedIn profile into one line, it would be great. The education thing is perfect. Okay, coming on to the certifications and technical skills. So certifications are very important, yes, but if they are like really genuine certifications, then only you can add on to your resume. It will take you somewhere. But if the certifications are from Coursera or Udemy or Lynda, then that are of no use. So try to add on the certifications that are really good, and I would say that try to add on the certifications that are paid, so that gives you a slighter edge on that thing. So if you have done Snowflake certifications or AWS certifications or Microsoft certifications, that all counts. So add on that certifications here, it would be great thing. Coming on to the analytical skills, okay, it's perfect. Analytical tools, okay, don't leave the white space here that you can see, so you can add on more things. And for the programming languages, C++, C, Java, they are important, but if you are going for a specific data analytics, data science, data engineering things, so you don't need this kind of languages to be there on your resume for that kind of roles. So yeah, try to avoid these things. Web technologies are not needed. It's good that you have this knowledge, but yeah, it's not needed here. Coming on to the work experience, operated on the tool named Kafka Connect, which open source component of Apache for 30 days. So it's very generic, right? So what you have done in this first line is a general thing, that you have used Apache and named Kafka for 30 days, but what you have gained from that, you have to write that things. So second point is kind of good. It has included it has the star method done. So yeah, you can go ahead with this. Evaluated the top rated movie at a point of time from a database that contains about 2000 rows of data. So this doesn't give me any insight about what you have done on your project. So try to come up with something that is relevant and that gives more insight onto what your job was, so that will give you a great slighter edge. And about the academic projects, I know that you don't have just one project, you might be having some other projects. So try to, as you're graduating in May 21, so you might be having some good projects, like you might have completed 2 semesters, so you have some good projects, so try to add on that things here. Leadership experience, if it is good, then only you can add on. The organization are not really needed. If you have space, that is good, but if you don't have space in the long run, then you can avoid this kind of things. Additional information is not needed. The last line is good, but the languages is not needed. As I said in my previous videos, if the languages are Spanish or French or like that, that is counted, but this languages doesn't count. So please add on this things into your resume, and you're good to go. Moving on to the next one. All right, so again, the same thing. Try to add on your introduction into one line. Don't leave, like, you can see a lot of white spaces in your resume. So try to avoid that white spaces. You don't want to give a very bad first impression with the blank spaces on your resume. So yeah, try to avoid these blank spaces. Education is good. Experience you have for around 4 months. Okay, collected the documents and completed working papers for annual report. So financial background, you have a couple of numerical things to write on. So try to add on the things. Even your experience lines, like the pointers, have very much of white spaces. Try to avoid these white spaces. This is not at all, like, you cannot go ahead with the white spaces on your onto your resume. So declared income tax for three small companies. So yeah, everyone can do that. You can declare the income tax for any companies. You declare the income tax for yourself. So yeah, go ahead with something that is relevant to the topics or relevant to the job profiles that you are applying for. Academic projects, again the same thing. Try to add on your star method things. You should be having something onto your academic projects, that you have gained some insights from the project that you have worked on. So try to get something from your project, try to give something from your projects. Technical skills should be above the experience, and try to add on some more skills, tools, the languages, databases what you have used. This is not applicable, so you need a lot of rework on your resume. Try to do that, and you can send me over, I can review it again. Thank you. All right, this looks good, but at a very first glance, don't use two inks. First of all, okay, if you have more than 4 years of experience, add on your summary. Otherwise, it's not needed. You have a lot to work on, and you have a lot to add on to your resume. So don't waste your lines into the summary. And the hyperlink is not needed for the gmail.com, your mail ID. Education looks good. Certifications, I don't know why it is coming up in two lines. Try to add on everything in, like, a single line, dedicated single line for languages, database, tools, visualization, statistical techniques, and machine learning. What? So try to come up something with the relevancy. Coming on to the professional experience, June 2018 to September, so 2018 is coming down, so try to add on to the same line the number. The first point, okay, played an integral role in managing the data warehouse with thousands. Okay, try to come up with the star method again, and for all the 4 points, don't be too generic. Use the Python library, beautiful soap for web scraping. So what did you get from that? Even I can open the library and do something, and I can say that I have used that. So try to come up with something. Okay, so two, first of all, two pages are not allowed. So don't try to see that if you are, like, you're not going on extending to 2 pages into your resumes. Academic projects looks good for me. Again, try to come up with the star methods wherever possible. The first line looks good, but you have included a lot of things, classified whether the post is trending or not. So don't be too generic that whether the post is like, you can come up with different sentences and take the ownership of the sentence and the academic projects that you have done. And yeah, you can totally remove the leadership and organization skills, then that you have something to talk about this thing onto your calls. So definitely you can get a call by this resume, but try to make the changes that I've said, and you're good to go. All right, so in this resume, you all guys can guess what I'm going to say at the very first glance. We don't need the line breaks, so don't use that. Like you cannot parse your resume through ATS because it will understand that it is the end of the resume. It will not parse further. Summary is not needed until and unless you have like 5 years or 4 years of experience. Education looks good, yeah, and with the experience, created a platform again and again. Use the star method wherever possible. Don't be too generic. Created the platform that revolutionized news distribution and consumption in the wake of fake news by allowing readers to rate news content based on accuracy and bias. So what tools did you use? How did you come up with these things? What were the insights from this? What did you gain from these things? Try to add on these things. It would be really helpful. And don't use different font size also and different fonts too. So your founder and CEO is in different font, and the experience and the company is in different fonts. The research assistant is in different font. So try to come up with a resume that is in a same font into the same ink, and yeah, it should be a clear and a visible resume that is a it's good to have a look on, like it should be attractive thing. Okay, research assistant, this all things is good. Like research, I don't have much knowledge about the research thing, but I can probably say that you have much to talk about these things when you get an interview. This is a good stuff. Okay, teacher thing is not needed. So taught, SAT, IELTS, TOEFL. So yeah, this is not needed. Don't add on these things if you want to move ahead in any of the career path of analytics or engineering or science. So yeah, that is not needed. Skills you should definitely add on before the experience, and leadership and development skills. I am not a fan of this whole para, so don't write that thing. You have much to talk about, like you have a good experience and you are a founder and CEO of something. So definitely write more about the skills, more about this experience. You have good to talk about. All right. So I can see that it's of 2 pages. So might have gone, or like the additional information might have gone to the next slide, next page. When you have submitted the resume, try to submit the resumes into the PDF format so it won't affect. This is in the Word format, I think, so it's affecting the pages. Okay, so first of all, much of white space, don't include that. So your introduction can be in one line. Don't leave the one line in between the education for masters and for your BTech. The certifications, if they are relevant, you can add on, but don't add on the certifications of Coursera, Udemy, the platforms everyone can do. So yeah, don't add on that. For the business experience, these things are pretty generic. You should complete the whole line. First of all, don't leave the blank spaces even after like one line. So this looks vague, like enhance the company's revenue to USD 400k from USD 100k. So you you alone have increased the revenue for 300k. So you should have a say in this, like how did you do this? And like it will raise a big question, like 300k is not a small amount. So if you have the ownership of that, you can definitely write, but if you don't, then please don't write these big numbers, and definitely don't bluff onto these things. And yeah, no white spaces at all. Academic projects, you might be having some good academic projects to write on, so try to use the languages that you have used. Some of the code, like definitely in the first and the second semesters you guys can totally take around six subjects, six courses, so you have around four academic projects to write on. So add on that courses into academic projects into onto your resume. You guys need the hands-on experience you have into this, like in USA rather than in any of the other countries. So try to add on the academic projects if you don't have the experience, and if you have the experience, that is well and good. And try to add on more things, like you have used the star method. I can see the numeric things, numeric the numbers into the experience and into the academic projects, but it seems very generic and very vague. So try to add on some good details and try to take the ownership onto your resume. All right, this looks good. Education, I think you might have morphed your details. So yeah, first line should be that. The education thing is good. Perfect. Business experience. All right, this looks good. Enabled strategic partnerships to gain a sustainable competitive advantage and expand business globally. What percent? What did you gain? What was the idea behind that? Try to add on these things. Like, collaborated with cross-functional teams to develop strategy and structure to ensure one-time project completion. So I did not get anything from this line. Try to come up with something new things, like something that is catchy. The last line you have highlighted is develop and launch two new products. So it should be, I think, uh, try to come up with what new products were, and like again the result of the star method, two products, that is good thing, but what two products, how did you come up, what were the insights in that, how did you use that things. This experience with Deloitte is pretty good. First line, advise client across the healthcare industry to solve critical and complex problems to improve patient safety and satisfaction. Okay, so with the satisfaction, improve patient safety and satisfaction by what means? Like everyone has different definition with these things. So you should be having something to say about this thing. 2 million is a big amount. If you have the justification for this, you can add on. Presentations to sell transformational tech solutions that won Deloitte a multi-million dollar project. That is something, but again, justification is very important for this thing. Leadership and organization, if that is like totally relevant, this looks good for you, you can definitely add on. But if you have good experience, like you have around 3 years of experience with Deloitte, try to add these things more. You have good internship skills, try to add that things more, and you will be, when you get a call, you will have something to talk about the publications, projects, presentations, leadership and organization. So that is a good thing. So you have published a lot of things, that is a very good thing onto the resume. You have something to talk about, that is that, like you seeing onto the resume, it seems like you have achieved a lot of things. It's good, you will have a lot of things to talk about. Try to add on the business experience, the academic projects, and once you are into the interview, you have something to talk about, and definitely you'll get the job. I would say, like, I would definitely hire you based on the resume, but it also depends on the interview that you give. But seeing on to the skills, it's quite a bit something. So yeah, and technical skills you should add on before the experience. And so languages, tools, frameworks, try to come up with databases, then analytical skills if you're going with data science engineering or data analytics line. Somewhat like, I really like the resume. Good work. Good luck. All right, again, the line breaks, we don't need that. The certifications, foundation, case study, no. So if something is relevant, then you can write. The paid certifications are good things, add on that, but don't add on these certifications. I would say again and again, the Coursera, LinkedIn, Udemy, this are not needed. And okay, so seeing onto your resume, I can find a lot of things into your technical skills, like you know a lot of things. So you should know each and every word you have written onto your resume. So like if I go on with do you know something about ROC curve? What is ROC curve? Confusion matrix. What is clustering model selection? And first of all, don't use the abbreviations, so try to come up with the full forms. And so you should know, yeah, you know a lot of things, seeing onto the technical skills. So you should know each and every word onto your resume. That would be the first thing I would say. Try to focus on that areas that you are applying to. So don't come up with this many skills. Like you might be getting the rejections because like they might be feeling that you are overqualified for these jobs. Looking at the technical skills, even I feel that you are somewhat overqualified. Like you have a lot of in your lot of things in your bucket. So try to sum up, like try to confine your searches and add on only that skills that are relevant to the job profile. Data consultancy services, business experience. All right, this is of 2 pages, not at all needed. So let's do one thing. Try to come up, like you have a lot of things. I would say good things, like good projects you have, good experience you have. Awesome. This looks good. This looks promising, but try to come up with just 1 page. 2 pages are not at all needed. Like you won't go ahead with 2 pages. I just have like 5 to 7 seconds to review your resume, and seeing at a very first glance you seemed overqualified to me. And again, if it's 2 pages, I won't go through each and everything, so I might miss out the things that I have for you in my job description. But due to shortage of time, I couldn't go through all the details, and I might miss out you. Like being a good candidate, I can miss you out. So try to come up with just 1 page. That's what I would say. All right. The education is perfect. Certifications. All right. If you have good certifications, again, add on this Google Ad Fundamentals, Tableau, Analytics. This all are this Coursera, Udemy certifications. So don't add on these things. It won't take you anywhere. Like they know that everyone does this certification. So yeah, the professional experience, good. For the second point, developed automated Tableau dashboards for senior management. Okay, so what were the KPI parameters? What did you gain from that? The insights. I know, like I have good experience with Tableau dashboards. I know what this line is about, but imagine like if I don't know what is Tableau and how does it work, so this won't take you anywhere. So try to gain or attract the recruiters by writing some stuff that would attract them to, that would make them curious to ask and read about the lines. So yeah, this the third line is good. Like I can see the numbers, so I would say like I would read the line. And I have like talked to some of the many of the recruiters, I would say, and they easily see these things. Like if you have the numerics, they don't see very wordy resumes. So don't be too generic and don't be too wordy in your resumes. Try to add on some numeric things, so this will take you somewhere. All right, in the academic skills, I can see just the words. Try to come up with something like numeric things. So perform data analytics analysis using pandas, matplotlib, seaborn library to find a correlation. What correlation what were the insights again? You have some insights from this project, I definitely know that. So what was then the insight? What did you gain from this project? Try to come up with these things. So imagine that if I am like, if I'm recruiting for onto the same things, like you have done the predicting and subscribe predicting the subscribers using bank's telemarketing data. So if I am using the same technology, I would like to know more about these things, but looking at these two lines I cannot gain something from it. So I don't have some numeric values that what did you use. So I won't be inclined to, like, I won't be inclined to your candidacy. Like, I don't think that you have used something, you have gained something from this project. It seems like you can be a freeloader onto your project with your teammates. So try to take the ownership, try to come up with something that like some insights you have gained from implemented linear regression and rich regression onto the data sets. So all right, so I can also use the linear regression and ridge regression. I can also write that on in my resume. But what did you gain from that? No insights. Like, I can see onto this first, second, third, fourth. You haven't achieved any insights onto your projects. So even if I don't have experience into this things, even I can come up with this terms and technologies that I've used these things, and you can read on and you can blabber in your interviews. But you, first of all, I don't think it will go to the interview, but yeah, try to come up with the star method. I would say again and again, this is the best practice. I know I keep on repeating this star method thing, but I definitely give you the assurance that it will take you somewhere if you come up with this star method. Titanic dataset is very basic, like everyone does this. So do some do some projects onto different data sets. There are lots and lots of data sets on internet. So try to come up with something new. You have good projects like machine learning. You have used R. You have used Python. You have used predictions. Everything. So try to come up with some insights. You have good resume, make use of it. You have good skills, try to be attractive, come up with the skills that makes the recruiters curious. All right, Anshul Gupta, remove the hyperlinks from LinkedIn, from GitHub, from your email IDs. Your education, so no need to write expected graduation. December is for sure coming up, so yeah, no need of that. Certifications, if again that is good, you can, otherwise please don't. And yeah, I can see the white space onto like one pager itself. So if you have one page and you don't have anything to write on, you have to increase your, you write something about the academic experience, something about the academic projects. If you don't have the academic projects, you're in UT Dallas, or you're from UT Dallas, right? Yeah, so in USA you can add on your bachelor's academic projects, but you cannot leave the white space onto one pager also. So it gives a very bad impression at a very first glance, that even like you have one page and you have left a white space in that too. So yeah, don't do this. This is a very big mistake. Don't leave the white spaces. So academic projects, you have come up with the star methods, good. Built a storytelling dashboard in Power BI visualizing the impactful features that affects the sales. So what were the impactful features and how did it affect the sales? What were the insights from the sales? What were the features that impacted the sales by how much percent, etc., etc. Try to add on these things. Perform feature engineering and regression on a panel data using quadratic and interaction variables. So if I am not from this background, I won't understand these things. you have to make the recruiter understand your projects by this one line or two lines that you add on. I cannot understand any of these things what you have written. So don't think that all the recruiters are from the same background of data analytics, data science, or data engineering, or onto whatever things you are applying for. Don't think that they know everything. So like even we don't know everything, so don't assume that things. Try to come up with all the things that you can add on to your resumes. You have good amount of space left on your resume. Try to come up with good skills and good things to write about on of describe your projects. That what I say, I would say that. All right, so we are done with the resumes, and I would say, like, when for the next sessions I would be sharing the details. You guys can send your resumes to the email ID, and I would select some of the resumes and come up with some resumes, like come up with some resume critiquing in the next sessions. So try to send your resume, try to stay tuned and connected, subscribe the channel if you haven't, and see you then. All right. So this is the details that I have added. Try to send your resumes onto this email ID, hide your details, and connect me on LinkedIn if you haven't. And you guys definitely have potential in you. Try to come up, try to take the ownership in the resumes. Your resume is your face. Try to be that. And yeah, best of luck. Thank you. See you soon. This is the email ID that you guys can send your resumes on. Please hide your details and connect me on LinkedIn if you haven't. And definitely you guys have potential in you, so try to be the face of your resume, and you're good to go. Good luck to you guys, and keep connecting, like keep networking, and try to stay tuned and subscribe the channel if you haven't. Thank you.